So we're out in the garden with the jam jar. To be fair, normally I do this with an envelope, but it'll be easier for you guys to see with the jam jar, because today I'm going to show you how to stop paying for seeds and start collecting them from your garden for free. So, jam jar, an envelope, a pen, and maybe more later, but we'll talk about that. First ones I'm going to get then is this. These are mims or mimulus, also gets called monkey flower, and they're one of my favourites. I have them everywhere in the garden when I can, but this year has not been as good, and I think basically we weren't reseeding, we were letting them seed themselves, and some of them just didn't take. So I'm going to actually collect the seeds myself this year to make sure I can make the use out of the majority of them so they don't accidentally get dug up as weeds, because I'll be able to plant them where I want. So I said you'd need a jam jar, and it's because this is how you collect seeds. It's not difficult. Okay, you can see here that what were the flowers have turned into these little papery seed heads, basically little pods. And what you can do is there's two ways of doing this. You can cut all these down and then take them into the greenhouse and do this, but you risk losing some of the seeds on the way. And what I normally do is drop seeds all over the lawn. It doesn't go down well with Kate. So instead, jam jar under the seed heads, and you just tap them or give them a little shake. Okay. But I'll let you see here why it's good to do it this way, because these seeds are tiny. Now I don't know if you can actually see these because they are so small, but here we're talking smaller than like a crushed, I don't know, spices. That's how small. So I'm just going to keep collecting these, and then I'm going to go and get some more. So next it'll be violas. Now, viola seed pods are different. These guys are open. The seed pods actually pop open, and it fires the tiny little seeds out over the soil. Okay, so what I'm doing with these is I'm basically just brushing the seeds off of these pods. So it takes a wee bit more time than with the mims where you can just tap them, but I don't know if you can see here. You get a lot of seeds in one little pod. If you can get them before they fire them, that's the trick. This is the last one I'm going to show you guys for outside just now. This is crocosmia, one of my favourite flowers. It has much bigger seeds, but what I find is really handy to do is just take this whole thing if you can. So take the whole spike, get it in the jar, and then just break it in there. Because these are a wee bit sticky, so they're a bit harder to get out of the pods. So I'll do that in the greenhouse. See here though, these ones aren't ready yet, but these ones are. So you want the ones that are brown. The ones that aren't ripe yet might not be viable, so just be aware of that. So I'm back indoors with my seeds, and all I do now, I don't store them in these jars because I don't want to store them in something that holds moisture. So I tend to just put them in some envelopes. You can buy fancy little seed envelopes if you want, but there's no need. Any old envelopes you've got in the house will do. And all I'll do is I'll mark on it what the seeds are, and I'll put a note to myself about when I'm going to sow these. So that's my mimulus. Now what I'm going to do is, you always get a few wee bits of husks and things that fall in. So you just make sure you've got all your seeds off of them and take them out. Okay, so I've got my seeds. They are incredibly tiny, so just be aware of that. If you've ever grown petunias, you'll understand just how tiny I'm talking about. And that is you. I'll seal this up and it'll go away for spring. Okay, that's my mimulus. Same with the violas and the crocosmia. I'm going to do the same thing with them. The crocosmia, obviously, I'm going to take out of the pods. Right, crocosmia. So just in case. So, you can see here, the crocosmia seeds are much, much bigger. And all we're going to do is just encourage the seeds out of these wee pods. Gardening is a patience game. And you'll see, the more ripe those little pods are, the easier the seeds come out. Now, I was saying to you, some of them are not ripe yet. You don't want the ones that aren't ripe yet because they might not be viable. But I'd say that's not bad going. So, crocosmia. And these ones are my crocosmia lucifer. So I need to make a note of that. Crocosmia lucifer. Because I have two types of crocosmia in the garden. And I don't want to get them mixed up because they're different colours. The crocosmia lucifer are the most amazing, vibrant flame red. It's brilliant. Now, you'll see here I've got these tiny little, they're called money envelopes. I'm just using that. These were actually leftovers from when Kate and I got married. And as a favour, a wedding favour, we gave everyone little packets of wild seeds. So we made them up. So using leftover envelopes, there's no point in buying particular ones, just use what you've got. So I have got then my mimulus, my bellboy, crocosmia, viola. So I'm going to turn this over because I don't want any random seeds I didn't mean. And let's just make sure I've got everything I need and get rid of any chaff I don't. So again, you can see viola seeds are quite small. Not quite as small as mimulus. I wish I had some petunia seeds to show you guys. They're crazy small. They're a nightmare to work with. But we will be doing that. It's one of the things we're going to do next year is we're going to grow some petunias from seeds. Well, we do that anyway, but I'll actually take you guys through it next year. Because Annie has asked for it. Annie is one of our blog viewers from Belfast. And she follows us along because Belfast has a similar weather climate to us. So we chat quite a lot and we grow along together. So yep, Annie, just for you, we're going to do petunias next year. I'd already made up an envelope. So get them in there. So, viola, mimulus, crocosmia. So that's us, folk, gathering your seeds from the garden. Free seeds. Right. I'd best get cleaned up then, huh? I've got loads of studying to do because I'm still in full-on dissertation mode. So yeah, so go for it, go collect seeds, guys. See you soon. Bye.